Hey there, greetings. This is Guy Mariva with Your Media Magician, and today I'm going to show you everything you need to know about entering a blog post on WordPress. Alright, so welcome. We're going to, the first thing you want to do when you're entering a blog post is, of course, log into your site and go to your dashboard. So we're going to do that. Just click on that. And then what we want to do is we want to go, of course, go to the posts area. So in the sidebar menu here, you're going to see this posts, and you just click on that. And then you'll see the listing of all my posts. I'm not sure if you'll have this, but you're going to go ahead and click on Add New. And then here it is. Here's the main editing window, and we're going to get into this, all of the features of this in just a bit. But the first thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and title your post. Oops. My first post. There we go. So put a title on it. And then super important, right down underneath the title is this little thing for the visual editor, the visual composer. And this is a cool way to do really fancy layouts on your site. Now, when you're doing a blog post, you're not going to need to know any of this. So we actually want to be in the classic editor. So right now we're in the back-end editor, and this is where you can actually add modules to your layout here. But we don't want to do that. We want to be in the classic mode, which is just a very simple editing window. So in this editing window, by default, you're just going to see one row of items here. Now, in order to get the second row to show up, there's this little thing called the toolbar toggle. And that will just basically give you this second row of tools to use in your WordPress blog or your WordPress posts and pages. Now, when you're composing a blog post, I highly recommend that you compose your post first in Pages or Word. Mainly the reason for that is because of sometimes when you're composing inside of the editing window, it gets a little glitchy. It can kind of jump around a little bit because it's updating the database. And so what I always do is I always compose my posts inside of a Word doc, and then I'll actually copy and paste to the editing window. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to go and Command C that, and then go in here. And the way you want to paste that content in there is you want to go to the text tab, and you want to click on that text tab, and that's how we're going to paste this in, because that will wipe out any formatting that's carried over from the Word doc. All right, so there you go, and then you go back to the visual tab editor, and of course we've got all our tools here nicely laid out. And what you want to do is, let's just say we're going to start creating some headings. And the formatting of document, of your documents inside of WordPress, is going to be super simple. It's exactly very much like Microsoft Word and Pages, much simpler actually. Doesn't offer you a lot of options, but just enough to give you a great looking blog post. So let's say we want to do, and click up here, we want to add heading. We'll do that. We'll add a heading for this one. We're going to make that H3 instead, a little bit of a smaller heading. And then of course you have, bold, italics, strike through, all the bullets and quotes and all that stuff is all right here. You can experiment with that on your own. But let's say we want to bold a few things. We want to bold, and we want to italicize a few things, just like that. So now we have our blog post, and one of the most important pieces of a post is having images. Images really convey a strong message for you. With WordPress, you never want to put an image at the top of the page up here, because that's going to be covered by another image. I'm going to show you that in just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to drop my cursor by this second paragraph. We missed it a little bit there. Now I'm going to go to Add Media, and then we're going to just choose an image from a previous post. I'm just going to do that. Now, when you select this image, you notice that I have this dimensions at about 325 by 265. Now, that's the ideal. You want to have your image so that it doesn't really. It ends up to be right around 300 to 350 pixels wide, and the width is always the first number here. This is width and this is height. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can achieve this kind of perfect sizing here in PicMonkey, which you can be found on. It's a free online editing photo editing tool, and I'm going to show you in a separate video how to use that editing tool. And then when we go down here, I'm actually going to put it off to the right. I don't want it to link to anything, so I'm going to create that as a none, and then we want it to be full size. And then we just go ahead and insert that into post, and there it is. So, and there's a bunch of other editing tasks that you can do within WordPress on the images, but I'm going to show you that in a separate video. So for right now, we can assume that we've got all our formatting complete, and we're ready to go with publishing this thing. But first, we want to come down here, and we want to have a category for this particular post. Now, categories, you don't want to have too many categories. You just want to have a few categories with lots of posts within them. So try to create categories with kind of broad naming. So let's just say we've got a category. Let's say we want to add a new category, and we're just going to call it WordPress training, because there's going to be we're going to create a bunch of posts in here on WordPress training. So there we go. We just add new category, and then that shows up right at the top here. And then I'm also going to add another one. We'll say how to. We'll click on that one too. So we've got two categories, and I think that's plenty for one post. So then we want to go down here, and remember when I was talking about the imaging before? So this is the set featured image area, and this is important because this is going to be the image that gets picked up and associated with your blog post on wherever you post it, and also on social media outlets. So you want to make sure that this is set up. And so we're going to click on set featured image, and then we're just going to pick another image here. We're going to pick this one here. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that this is a relative size so that it shows up nicely on your page compared to your other blog posts. So I recommend giving it a size of 325 by 265. And I actually created another video called Working with PicMonkey. And in that video, I'm going to show you different ways that you can get this image to a 325 by 265. So for right now, we'll just assume that that's what we've got in there. And we also want to put a title for this, and we're going to title it the same. We're going to title it the title of our blog. So we want to put that title in there, and then we want to click on Set Featured Image. So that will pop up right there, and there's our new image all ready to go. And that is basically everything you need to know. Very important. All the steps I outline here are super important to follow. Let's say today we sat down on a Saturday afternoon and we wrote 3 blog posts. So I want these blog posts to go out this coming week, like maybe Tuesday or something like that. So I'm going to set that to the 21st. And then I want them to go out in the morning. I usually set it to go out at around 9 a.m. because that'll cover both the Western and the Eastern time zones. Okay, so then what you do is you click OK. And then what happens is this Publish button turns to Schedule. So you want to just go ahead. If you want that post to go out, you would just click Schedule, and then it would hold it until the morning of the 21st. So we don't want to do that. I want to post this thing right now so that you can see how it's all set up and everything. So we're going to go back here and put in the 19th, which is today, at 9 a.m., which was this morning. And then you click OK, and now it turns back to publish. So we're going to go ahead and publish that post. Okay, there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out to my site, and I'm going to go take a look at how it looks. And there we go. There's our posts right on the home page, and you can see that all the images, I made them a relative size, and you're going to learn more about that in my PicMonkey video, so be sure and check that out. Okay, so there you have it. There's our nice looking blog post. We're actually going to click on it and see what it looks like over here. All right, there we go. There's our image, and then there's our text. And everything's turned out really nice. Okay, there you go. Everything you need to know about entering your blog posts. So I hope you enjoyed that. This is Geej Mariva with Your Media Magician. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions about any of this. My email is geej@yourmediamagician.com. All right, have a great week, and I'll see you soon.